Well, hello, farming friends, and welcome back to another edition of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, your old buddy, Mistermoose. Hey, we're back on Coldborough Park Farm today, and to continue on with our field planting, and I'll bring you up to date on where we're at. And basically, I went ahead and everything I talked about yesterday in the video, I threw it all out. I went ahead and prepped almost all the fields. We've got one left that needs to be cultivated. And then the rest of them are cultivated and ready for fertilizer. I made some additions to the farm. Remember I told you we were going to use a different fertilizer seeder. We're going to use this guy, the DN 345 fertilizer seeder. It's a John Deere. It's, from what I understand, a port over from 2013. But this is what I have on my farm. This is the type of spreader I have. I have an off-brand. I don't have a John Deere. But this is what I have. I have two versions of this kind of hopper. I have one that's on a trailer, and then I have another one that you actually put into the back of a pickup truck. And you put the fertilizer in the top of it, and then it broadcasts off the back of it into the field. And that's what I have. So when I saw this, I was like, ooh, gotta have that. So we're gonna use it on this field and use it a little bit. And like I said, the reason I have it is more like what I have in real life. So when I see things that I have that I'm used to using, kind of get them and pick them up. So we made that addition to the farm, and then we picked up this guy here. In working yesterday, I realized that 320 is a little light on these hills and everything, and I've been wanting to use some of these. So this is the Fent 939. It's 390 horsepower. And I was talking about the 9 series tractors and that I was going to add them in eventually. So went ahead and picked this guy up, and we're going to run it today and see how it goes. It'll be really my first time using them. Why is everything bouncing around on the map when I get close to it? Weird. You see how that's doing that? It did it over here too, I noticed. When I got close to these guys, they bounced around a little bit. Anyways, so first look at this guy. We haven't really looked at any of these, so I just walk around and let you guys see. And as I've talked about before in my videos, the 9 series, basically it's all one model. It's just you pay a little bit more for different horsepowers. So good looking mod though, on the detail and everything. And you got your front weight up here, and they've even got your locking hitch for your 3-point hitch. So it does have IC on the doors, so if you're into all that, you can use it. So I hit the IC and close the door up on it. And then the only other real IC is there's the top hatch. There's a sunscreen. Come on. Oh, that's not the sunscreen. My bad, that's the back window. The back window has a IC on. I saw the IC in the mirror and thought, oh well, there's a IC on the sunscreen. There's not. It's too bad. I like that on them. I don't get into much IC, but the sunscreen, kind of cool. And that's about it. The joystick does move when you tell it to go forward. It will move forward, backwards. The only thing I really don't like about this tractor that I've seen so far, and I'll show you guys this, is if we move the camera around and we come forward, when I start to pivot, you'll notice the fenders are attached to the tires and they move with the tires. But if you notice, if I get to a certain spot, the fender collides with the tractor and pops over. I don't like that. That's, somebody modeled that wrong. So anyways, that's the only real thing I see that's a kind of anything I don't like. is that little hitch in the fender. But other than that, I really haven't noticed any other things. It was said to me that this back wheel might be a little bit off, the off center, and so it bounces around. But I've driven around and I haven't really noticed anything with it. So we'll fire this thing up so you guys can hear what it sounds like. I really like the sound on it. It's kind of throaty, and it sounds a lot like what my tractor sounds like. A little bit of throatiness to it. So, alright, so we'll park that right now, and then we'll come back to it. So what do we got to do today? We got to go put some fertilizer in the field and then start seeding. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the 1050 here to go throw some fertilizer out, and then we'll use the 39 to jump into the fields and do the seeding. I've got the other 1050 sitting up here in the field where I've been cultivating with it, and I figure I'll just go ahead and let this guy cultivate this field on course play. All the rest of them have been done and are looking good. So let's get this guy set up. Working width on this is going to be 6 meters, and I'm going to pull that down just a hair to 5.5. Actually, I'm going to pull it down to 5 meters just to make sure that I get a good clean cultivation on this field. I'm in field number 3, and let's see what happens if I do that. What do I end up with? Let's look at my route. Starts up there, goes around, does a whole bunch of this and that. That'll work. I want to change that part of it. Alright, looks good to me. So let's head back up here into the corner, and I'll get this guy started, and then we'll go put some fertilizer out and we'll do our thing. Alright, so let's pull right around here. Go ahead and drop that cultivator down. Move forward just a little bit so I can get a little bit started, like I normally do, and hit drive course. And off it goes somewhere else. Let's make sure we take all that off. Gotta remember to get rid of all that offset. Whoops. Now we should. And just follow this a little bit. Make sure it's not doing anything silly. Make sure it actually is on the right route. It looks like it is. Alright, so off we go back over here to the fence. Wrong fence, right fence. Alright, let's get this guy fired. Alright. So if I haven't showed you guys this in the store yet, let's go ahead and check it out real quick. This comes from American Eagles Modding, is where I found it. I don't like to do too much of their stuff because, well, they put a whole lot of mods out there for people to see, but they don't ever release them, and that irritates me. So the price on this is ridiculous. I do believe somebody messed up with a figure in the XML, So if you do download this, you probably want to go in and adjust that, because it's 109,000 on this one and it's only 10,000 for this one. Now this is Soul Mod compatible. There's two different versions of it. As you notice up here on the top, it says Soul Mod Ready, so you can use this for the Soul Mod. Also, this is Lime Ready, so you have two different versions. You have a Lime version and one for Fertilizer, and this will do all the different fertilizers as well for you. So $10 a day. It'll also hold some seed in there, so if you wanted to use it for an overseeder, I guess it would be good. Or maybe it doesn't. I had the wrong thing clicked. Alright, now we actually see what it is. So it's 150 a day. 180 horsepower to run it. And it holds 12,000 liters. So, alright. Which, that's not right either, because fully loaded, this thing holds like 20,000 liters. So the graphics on that aren't correct either. Yeah, 20,500 is what it actually holds. Working width on this is about the same as the Amazon. I think it's 16 meters or something like that. Alright, so if I turn on this and actually get that set up, you can see that it's quite a wide working width on it, and I'm going to turn that down. I'm not actually going to work that wide with it. I basically just want to use it to get a guide on where I'm at getting started. Alright, so I'm just going to back up a little bit here, get ourselves going. And we'll get some fertilizer spread on the field. Now I decided to do this with that 1050 because the struggles that I had with the JCB on this field with just a cultivator, I can only imagine how hard of a time it would have pulling this field with a heavy trailer full of fertilizer. I imagine it would be a pain, so I decided to go with something a little bit more powerful. I did go in yesterday, get this off my screen, I don't really need it. I did go in yesterday and make some adjustments to the XML file for drive control. And after we finished the recording, I cranked down the variable for it. I cut it in half, and that seems to have helped out quite a bit. So if you go into the XML file for drive control and under ground response, it'll have a variable of 1.0000000 whatever. Anyways, so what I did was I cut that in half and made it just 0.5, and hopefully that's going to be pretty good for us. It did make a difference. The JCB didn't drag down nearly as much. Instead of going from like 11 to 5, 11 to 6, the way it was, it stayed pretty consistent around 8 miles an hour in the field. It did have some variances, but it was nowhere near as bad as it was when we were doing it before, where it was going from all over the place. So I think that was a good adjustment for it. Alright, so I'm not going to fertilize all the fields today. We're basically just going to do a field, plant, and we'll get whatever we can get done in an hour, and then I can go back and do the rest of the stuff on my own, off camera. But I did want to get some planting done today and get us started on getting these fields going. So get all these fields started today, or as much of it started as we can, and then we'll probably go back to North Brabant and do a little harvesting there. So today's video is this. Tomorrow's video more than likely is going to be North Brabant, and we'll get on there and get back into doing some stuff on that field. Whoa, hit the wrong button there. Hit the wrong button, fell out of my tractor. So what else? Did a lot of reading last night on TrackIR. If anybody's running TrackIR on theirs system and using that with Farm Sim, let me know, and let me know what you're using to get it to work. I know there is a mod out that Upside Down has put out, but after reading last night, there's several little steps you got to take to get it to work. And just if anybody has gone through that and just give me a little insight on it, I would appreciate it. Looks like I'll be configuring that on Friday of this week, as that's when my delivery is scheduled for. So I'll be looking forward to that and messing around with that, and hopefully it won't take forever to get it configured and get it to work. I have a bit of a confession. I have a very unlucky streak going when it comes to things that require more than just plug in and play. It has been, I joke with people and say that God has a real sense of humor with me, and he likes to make me struggle to make my life stronger. So if anything goes simple for you to do, it's usually a challenge for me. Not that I don't get it, and not that I'm not smart enough to make it work. It's one of those situations where it just happens that way. I have an uncanny ability to find the flaw in everything. Let's say, for example, I go into a department store to buy an alarm clock, and this is a true story here. I can go into a department store. There's 100 alarm clocks on the shelf to purchase, all the same brand, all the same, bells and whistles and everything. Now there'll be 100 of them on the shelf. I can pull the one defective one off just about every time. I have gone into the store before, purchased an alarm clock, taken it home, plugged it in, it not work. Take it back, exchange it for another alarm clock, only to get the one off the shelf that someone else has brought back and exchanged before, and gotten their faulty alarm clocks. So it's just one of those things. So when I look at a situation with something like TrackIR, and there's all these little steps that you got to jump through, involving getting dissimulation software, and then using another tool to communicate between the emulation software and TrackIR, and then the mod that you have to plug into. It's one of those things where my head just starts going, okay, I see there's a potential for an error to come up here. So not that I'm not completely competent and able to make it work, but if somebody who's been down that path already wants to just tell me that it works, and if there are any tricks that I need to know about, that would be great. Would definitely appreciate the insight. Hopefully it's just a simple follow the directions and get it to work. It doesn't seem too bad, what I've read, as far as getting the software and everything. There might be, then again, you know, the reason I ask also is what's out there can be out of date. There could be a simpler solution that has come out versus getting the emulation software and using the mod and all that other stuff. So just if anybody's using it, has any insight, I'd appreciate it. Just leave a comment or send me a message, and I'll get with you on it. I missed that little bitty spot right there. So I'm doing all my fertilizing and everything ahead of time on my fields. That way we avoid any tram lines. Since we can avoid it on this particular map, we might as well. Whereas we're not going to be able to completely avoid it when we're playing on Holzhausen. So I sort of like the tram lines. It does give you that more authentic look and feel to the map. Alright, that's going to give us 2 fields to begin with. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy over here and park it. And we'll come back to him in just a little bit. And we'll go get into our 939. And again, just to show you these guys in the store so you can see what I'm using mod wise. This is the Ep9 series, and I've shown you these before, I guess, but they come in a variety of models. It's the same style tractor, just different horsepowers. So you've got all the way from the 924, and again, the second number is the horsepower on it. So it's a 9 series, 240 horsepower, and then you step all the way up through the 939, which is 900 or 390 horsepower. So, all right. So, and again, this one's 250,000, 310 a day. The maintenance cost on these is kind of high, but I probably will run this, and like I had said before, I wanted to have the 2 1050s and then probably 2 midline tractors. But after running the that 32 through the field, it definitely seems like you need a little bit more horsepower on these hills. So even that thing is a little underpowered. After cultivating these fields, I think too I'm going to move to pick up another cultivator and do some gang cultivation, some tandem cultivating with the fence. I do like the sound of this thing. Alright, so we're going to fill this up, and let's take a look at our storage, what we're at, and what fruits are available to us. I know we've got wheat, barley, canola, grass, corn, I'm sure oats. I don't know what that is right there. Not really sure what that is either. More oats, more of that again. So maybe we ought to look into the actual storage. Wheat, corn, potato, sugar beets. No, we don't have all that fruit. Oats, that's soybean is what that is. Alfalfa. And anything else that we can plant? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so alfalfa. We can make some great hay out of that. Alright, so I think we'll start with just looking at what we've got so far. We need some canola, and we definitely need some corn. like the mirrors on this. They look placed pretty good. Nice sound. Alright, so to plant with this, we're going to use our GPS, and I want to go straight across the top of this field. That's what I want to do, and then just go down from there. So we know this is a 6-meter rig on the back of here. I can go ahead and unfold it, get it down, and I'll go ahead and bring up all of this. So I want to adjust my implement down just a little bit. I know I'm at 6, I'm just going to go to 5/8. And again, I just do that for a little bit of overlap. I want to change my course here, bring it up the field a little bit, and then turn it just a hair. And I think that'll be pretty good for us. It doesn't have to be perfect. But what I want to do is I want to just go across the ridge here. That way it doesn't, we're not going up and down nearly as bad if we go this way. I think this will give us a nice run. Alright, and then we'll worry about getting our edge and all that stuff done when we come back and do our headlands at a later time. So we'll go ahead and lock in here, lower down, lower in, and we'll get to planting. Oh, and I'm planting the wrong thing. Dirty word. I meant to do canola. Alright, well, we're going to have one row of wheat up here. I wish you could overseed. Pull this up so I can see what I'm doing. Wants to kick around a little bit on me. All right. So we'll just work our way through here and seed this down. And what I'll do is I'll just go across this, and then at the end I'll come back and run all the way around the perimeter and catch all the little spots we missed. And what I'm trying to do here on these, when I get to the edge of the field, I figured this out with a cultivator. If I come in, make a slight turn, pick up my drill, I turn out, and then by turning back in, I can drop my drill and make the turn and start my path again. And on we go. So we'll do that end cab this time. So So when I get towards the end of the field, when my front wheels get up there, just kind of cut my wheels, travel with that, pick up my implement, come around, turn back into the turn. Back up to my line. Drop and go. That's giving me a good coverage on that and just leaving me the perimeter where I'll have to come back and, you know, clean that up. So anyways, still trying to figure out the best way I want to work these fields, but this seems like it works good, and trying to find the best way so I'm not running through the hedges and having to back up all the time, and you know, and also still lifting my planter and not just dragging it through the field. And looks like I missed a little bit over there. You know, like I say, I'm trying to keep it somewhat realistic. I don't want to be just leaving the seeder in the ground the whole time and making turns and turning back around and everything else like that. So alrighty, so what else is going on? Not a whole lot in my world. Checked out a couple of new maps last night. Some promising stuff. I'm figuring we're going to see some good stuff come out soon with that contest going on. Because I do believe the stipulation on the contest is the mods that are submitted for the contest have to be mods that haven't previously been released. So if that's the case, then there's definitely going to be some cool stuff come out here for people who, you know, want to win the contest. So I'm looking forward to it. Hoping that soon we see some cool stuff. You know, and by cool, I don't just mean a map where somebody went in and slapped every mod they can find out there You know, I went to maru.net and I downloaded every placeable mod there was and I put it on this map, or every possible mod that can be put in, and I put it all in here. So you've got to do bakery, milk, fishing, blah 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 blah. Okay, well that's cool if you put all that stuff on the map, but at the same time, I want to see some design. I mean, when you look at this map, and just you sit right here and you look over the horizon at the fields that are out there, and even more so if you get up on field 3 up on the ridge line up there, and you're just looking out over the valley and all the fields. It's cool. I mean, this is a challenging map to do because of the hedgerows and everything that's on it, but at the same time, it's pretty much worth it, you know, for the quality map that you get. And there's not a ton of plugins on it. You play this map because it is challenging. You play this map because it's also scenically, it's awesome, you know. You just don't jump on here, throw course play on every field and go. You actually have to think about what you're doing. And went the wrong direction, didn't I? Every once in a while my mirror glitches a little bit. Click seed, full seed, turn off seed. I'm just making sure there's no I was just checking, make sure there was no more extra duels or anything else like that that I didn't know about on this mod. But I think so far that's pretty much it. So no speed planting here. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna run through this and do it more realistic instead of just running through it as fast as I can and getting it done. So this video will pretty much just be this field, and then I'll go work the other fields and get them set up. What else did I do off camera? I did go get me a chainsaw and checked out these trees that are in the middle of these fields. And unfortunately, they were designed so that you cannot cut them down, which means I got to deal with them all the time. So I'm sort of not happy about that. Here's my vision or my viewpoint on trees in the middle of the field and everything else like that. They're cool, and I like the fact that he did that design, and because he was going for a bit of realism, and maybe in his life there were trees in the middle of the field, and that's the reason why he put them in there, was for that aspect of it. But at the same time, I prefer when a map developer does a map that they let the player decide how they want to play the field. And by that I mean, don't make the tree collidable. Give me the option to determine how I want to play the field. And, because look, if you're in multiplayer and you've got a lot of people working a field, that tree's not an issue, because people are smart enough to drive around that tree, and it doesn't cause any problems for them. Whereas if I'm playing this in single player mode and I need to rely on the AI to do some work for me, that tree then becomes a pain, because the AI is going to run into it and they're going to hang up on it, and I'm going to have to go babysit the AI all the time. So I do prefer when people put things in the middle of the map or in the middle of the fields that they make them non-collidable. And then you have the option to play the field how you want to do it. If you want to drive straight through it, drive straight through it. But if you want to role play it and you want to, play the tree as it was placed there to be played, then you can do that. But you're not forced to do it, and you're not forced to have problems with it. And that's just sort of, either make it where I can cut it down and plow it out, or make it where I can drive through it. Give me that option. Because now when I'm driving, I'm going to drive around it and do whatever. But if I use course play, for instance, on this field, to do something, I want to have the option to be able to let this guy do the field and me not have to go babysit him when he runs into the tree. Which, I had to do earlier with the plows, when the plows were going through field 2. So, and that's especially frustrating when you're trying to do something like gang plowing. So you've got more than one AI that's going to get hung up on it and have problems. So, but that's just my opinion on it. Like I said, I prefer for you to give me the option to decide how I want to play the map, not decide it for me. And again, you can tell me that, well, and I know the backstory on this farm. I know that Bullet Bill did this to be representative of a farm that he worked on, and you can actually Google Coldborough Park Farm, and you can see that it's, the layout of it is pretty much spot on, as far as the topography and the farm layout itself. Now there's not there's no shop down where the shop's at, and things of that nature. The road that goes up to the beef and cattle farm actually extends on and keeps running on down through the the countryside. But it is what it is. But again, just give me the ability to make the decisions as far as how I'm going to play the map. Don't force me to play it a particular way. So, alright, so we'll park that guy there. And we'll pick back up where we left off here. And apparently we left off without lowering the cedar, so I gotta... There we go. I might not even get half of this field planted in this video. Well, we did do a little fertilizing, so that did take a little bit of our time, but man, you know, the way I'm doing this is slow, I know that. But it's, you know, a little bit more accurate. Could do every other row, and I wouldn't have to do this. And actually with this tractor, I probably could do every other row and not have very many issues. We could do that for the rest of this field. Try a different method. Be a little bit faster. The reason I was, like, when I was cultivating the other ones, I found that if I started on the ridge and worked my way down, I didn't have as many issues with the lack of horsepower. I was using that JCB to do that, so that was causing a lot of issues. Even though in every other row, though, I end up with these turns the way they are, just kind of having some. We'll see how it goes. We'll try it like this for a little bit. So far I like this tractor though. It seems to be handling the hillsides okay. But again, you expect that 390 horsepower. But then again, I thought 320 horsepower would be enough as well. So we'll just see how it goes. I didn't even have four-wheel drive turned on. I forgot all about turning it on. Alright, so what I'll do to fix this field is when we're all said and done, I'll go grab the cultivator and run it across that top row, and then come back and reseed that with our canola, and that way we'll have a complete field of canola and not have that weed up there. So tomorrow we head to North Brabant, and I think I'm going to pick up a second combine tomorrow, and we're going to do a little multi-combining, I think. It's an idea I've got. I think we can pull it off in some of these fields that I've got planted, so it's something I've been wanting to do, so we might do that tomorrow. I'll look at it tonight and make sure that's what I want to do. Yeah, I'm thinking dual combines with a chaser and taking that to a side cart. So dual combines, an overloader, and then have the semi there for the rest of it to haul the grain off. It's a lot of labor, right? I think it'll be cool though. We can do things like that when we have money. What we'll do is we'll automate the combines, and then I'll just chase them with the overloader and empty them out and go from there. Alright, so went out to the farm this morning, checked out on some stuff, picked a little cucumber, picked a little squash, a few tomatoes, a whole lot of okra got picked today. Oops, didn't want to do that, hit the wrong button. Checked on my beans, they are doing really good. I've got my Kentucky Wonder beans and my pink eyes, and they are looking good. So probably in a couple of weeks I'll be harvesting beans. And then, like I said, probably Monday I'll be planting some more beans in the other fields. So I'll be back to playing Farmer Bob for a little while. Yeah, I hit the dreaded AI button. That's the one thing I forget to do every day. I keep telling myself to turn that thing off. I managed to get into the XML file and clean some stuff up, but I keep forgetting to take that stupid button assignment off. Oops. Alright guys, well, we're getting kind of long on time here, so we'll be wrapping this video up pretty soon. And that's funny, the door handle gets dirty on the inside on this tractor. And I'm not sure that was supposed to be that way. How does she look getting dirty? We got dust on the tires, dust in the wheels, dust everywhere, so she does get good and dirty. I like the dual beacons on top too, instead of a single beacon. Oop. Meant to hit the gas, gave it some more power. Gotta get my little screenshot there for the thumbnail. But that one looked pretty good. Or we got that one. Hey, I did most of it in first person for you guys today. Probably wrap up here the rest of it outside the cab, just because the angle coming into this lower hedgerow is so tight. Let's see what I'm doing. Alrighty. Alright, well, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of work to do here to finish this field up. I'll have to go back through it again and get all the lanes that I missed. So I'll do that, and this field will be planted. Like I said, I'll go and hit the I'll go ahead and hit some canola up. This is gonna be a problem right here. I'll don't like this. I'll go ahead and fix that top where I had an issue. There's a solution for this. Real simple. Come down through here. But I'll go ahead and finish up this field, go across the top and get rid of that wheat, and then put some canola back in there. And I'll probably go seed that other field. So that'll give us 2 seeded, and you know, I might work on some more off camera just to get this place ready for harvest. This is tricky to do it right and to not drive back over what you've already planted. But There's always a way to do it. Alrighty. So I'll just alternate back and forth here into the corner. Once I get that done, I'll head back up and grab the rest of those that we missed, and then I'll come back and do my headland after I've finished the entire field. And that should get us all planted up. Alright guys, thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's not been a whole lot to it other than seeding, but we checked out the 9 series Fent. So far so good with it. I don't have any real issues with it. I'm pretty happy actually. So we'll continue to mess with it a little bit in our gameplay. Make it a part of Coldborough Park Farm. So maybe we end up making this an all Fent map. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But yeah, tomorrow, North Brabant. And we'll move forward getting all the harvesting done. And then we'll get back over this way after a couple of days. And we'll just kind of keep mixing it up a little bit, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, if you liked the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll get a new video out every day for you guys. Thanks again for watching. And remember, if you've got TrackIR, let me know what you got going on with it and how it's working out for you. I'll get it in going by the weekend. So, oh, that's not the course I wanted to be on. Yeah, I'm messing up. I'm thinking about too many other things at one time. My poor little brain's going at overload. Help me, help me, help me. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.